Mr. Humble Hippie here. We're in the middle of the wilderness right now, in the middle of a wilderness fire. The local towns have been burned down and neighborhoods are ablaze. My life is in danger right now, and we've been waiting for a mandatory evacuation. It's a state of emergency in the state of Jefferson, and national emergency, and the National Guard are being called in. The blood moon is unfortunately red due to the raging wildfires that are surrounding me right now within so many miles on the other side of these ridges. This is the second video in the series, not the second video, but the second series, or area is the better thing to say, because I've been in multiple wilderness fires now and done multiple videos on being in the fire zones. And I just want to emphasize at all times that your life is in danger and you should not speculate if you are in a fire zone. You should get GTFO, look it up. Get out. Leave. If you are working for somebody, stop. Leave. You will not have the proper time to leave the wilderness situation if you notice fire or it gets to be too close. You need to be out of there immediately. There's flashing going on in the sky. We have unnatural weather, or we have natural weather, however you want to look at it. We have, in the middle of August 2nd morning, 1 a.m., wilderness fires going on everywhere, which are creating blankets of solid black smoke covering every direction that I can see for as far as I can see, which is then allowing weather patterns to change. It creates its own rain, and it starts raining ash, and then the ash mixes with moisture in the air and it actually creates raindrops, and so then you have brown black raindrops start falling, and then that, maybe with wind or however lightning gets created, then that starts creating lightning. And so we're actually having lightning storms in a time when we have zero participation and we have zero chance of rain. It is raining and we are having lightning on August 2nd at 1:30 a.m. That's just my personal witnessing experience as I'm standing here. I've seen multiple flashing. I can see visible clouds of smoke. My life is in danger. I don't know if it's smart or not to leave. By leaving, you're going to freeways that are closed, highways that are closed. That's the moon. But earlier today, that's what the sun looked like. I should have done video on the red sun. Well, the sun behind the clouds is something that's hard to describe. I guess the fact that the clouds are clearing at all and showing the moon is a good sign. But if you can get any idea of what you're seeing right now, that's all smoke from a forest fire that's surrounding me. I can smell it. It's raining ashes on me right now. We have the country's firefighters and federal agencies out here fighting it, and we're waiting for a mandatory evacuation, and we're trying to pretend like this ain't happened, had a barbecue even. But for all safety measures and a better common sense, this afternoon I should have drove out of here. That would have been safe. I could be in a safe area and not have to worry about this. And the worry is that the fire, which is out of control on the other side of this mountain, is going to topple this mountain any minute, just like I showed you that red moon, and we're going to see live flames, and they're going to run down this hill and into where we're at in a matter of minutes, maybe an hour or so. And pretty sure the way the geography is working in the mountains in general on a bigger scheme, we're above the fire and the fire is going up. It burns up, and the fire is technically south of us, and so it's burning up, and so we're in the path of the fire is what I'm trying to say. And so for about 60-70 miles south of me, there are raging out of control wilderness fires of inaccessible, unable to physically walk up type of terrain. The mountains that we're in are inaccessible and have to be fire retardant dropped from the air. Today, my friend's, very close friend's property is on fire. Had to be physically, everyone that works there was physically putting out fire today on the property out in the wilderness. I do not know their current situation, if their life is, if they're okay. I'm assuming that they are okay because we got the message that they were putting the fire out, and then the fire, Cal Fires, which is a federal agency, showed up and either evacuated them or put out the fire. And I don't think they put out the fire, I think they just put out the fire in that area. And it could also have been just a spot fire, because what's going on right now is, like I said, there's a huge fire, but it's raining ash. So any of this ash can light a fire any second, anywhere. It's 100-degree days right now, and we're in bone dry conditions in a drought in a wilderness that's just ripe for lighting up, kindling. I gotta tell you, I'm supposed to be walking around with the dog right now, and I'm kind of scared too, because, you know, animals are really conscious of forest fires, and so it seems that there's going to be a lot of different animals that are running around in the woods right now, and they're lost and confused. And there's a really good chance that you could come across some animals that you don't want to come across, or that would normally not be up or in that area or awake at night or the day or whatever the case may be. Because they're out of their mind scared, because they can smell the smoke. And your own animals also, by the way, you should be aware to never leave them off the leash or anything in 4th of July or in natural conditions of a state of emergency, like earthquakes or anything, because they're in tune with the earth and they know that there's an earthquake about to happen or is happening, and they will run away. Or a tornado, they'll run away. Or tsunami, they will run away. You'll have no idea, and then your house will be floating away, and you'll be like, what? Oh, that's why the dog ran away. Yeah. And right now, there's forest fire, you know, that can't physically be seen, but we're engulfed in smoke. My dog knows. He doesn't know what fire even looks like, but he knows that there's something that he needs to run away from, that he needs to be protecting me from, and he knows there's something to be bothered by. Yeah. He's okay that I'm with him. You should always, you know, console your animal. But I'm just sitting here chatting to this full moon that's solid red whenever the smoke clears enough to see it. I just can't hit the point home close enough to tell you, though, that we're not actually safe out here. It's just a total random gamble. There's nowhere to go. You're in range after range after range of forest fires. And when you think that some fire company is going to show up and save you, they don't exist. When you are out in the woods, you have your own local community people become the fire department, and your area, if you're in the woods or rural community, might be all volunteers. And your local town might actually be 30, 50 miles away. It might be an hour or 3 hours away. So your so-called town fire station might be not able to come help you or save you. You have to have a local brigade of willing, able-bodied people with skills that can know how to do that. And that's why, if it was my own property and or friends or family, I recommend getting a foam type of retardant that you can put onto your house, that if it senses heat, it'll spray a foam all over the house, which is a major fire retardant, a lot better than water. You should also have 100 feet, cut all around your house. You should have it cleared, no brush. These fires, they need to happen. They're natural. It's unfortunate, people praise the firemen and companies, they save all these people's houses and stuff, but God didn't want your house to be there, and He did want those fires to be there. That is why these plants and this geography and the geology is based on fire. And when a layer of tree falls, it creates carbon, and that becomes sediment, and it becomes a type of stone and dirt, and all of this becomes a layer in the ground. And then it mixes with water or some other natural event, it becomes a crystal or a stone or gold. This is the way our earth is built. It's an evolving cycle. When we stop one major part of our earth's cycle, we stop the next portion of our earth from healing. And we think of it as a negative because it's destroying things that we love and care about, like our friends or families' houses. That's in theory why we have, to protect these things. But we're in rural communities where you're taking over these things. It's like building in the flood zones, which we do, or in the tornado zones. We build in those zones, and you really should have to have an equal force of understanding of, okay, I should accept this fate. You should realize that if there's going to be forest fires, you have to clear cut your area around your house. You have to have some type of thing to protect it. I think that when they put out forest fires in general, it hurts the ecology and it creates more fire, because the fire puts out a certain quality of wood, and the stuff that actually burns the fuel in the fire is twigs and dead wood and different things. And again, it needs to be burned to turn into ash, because the ash is going to turn into nutrients for the rest of the bushes. And bugs and different things, they need to eat it or live in it, or it's become part of their life cycle. So back to that religious rant of God. Excuse me, I don't really mean to bring him into things, but whatever you believe the creator that created these life forms to begin with, these plants and trees that I'm referring to that get burnt up, they are actually created, scientifically this is proven, that they need to have heat they have to have a forest fire over 100 degrees in order to release the Cambrian layer, or in order to release the seed from its husk and be able to sprout. And so their DNA and the seed and the cellular tissue of these plants it's understood that they are going to go through a forest fire, or through a freeze, a deep freeze, or through a deep flood. And therefore, all throughout the world, depending on what the geology is, we have particular plants that they need that trigger release. And so if we stop that floodplain and we don't allow that much water there, then those particular types of plants won't grow there.
If we don't have forest fires raging through our wilderness, which is horrible as that sounds, then we don't have habitat for all the animals that need to live in the hollows of burnt out stubs, and we don't have nutrients for all the plants that need those ashes, and we don't have seeds we don't have fresh trees growing because they need that heat in order to release the seeds. There's a lot of fuel in the ground, the dead branches and different things, and if they don't get burnt up, then they accumulate. And so if you accumulate 2 or 3 or 5 seasons of that dead plant, then you have just an endless pile of fuel for this fire to then get hot enough to actually burn these bigger trees. A lot of trees, specifically in California, we have redwoods. Redwoods have a resin that's in their bark that allows them to be anti-fire. They're like creosote or something. No, that's the opposite. I can't remember the name that's in the redwood trees, but they don't catch fire. And so madrones, a lot of the big massive trees, even oaks, like it takes a while to catch fire. But what does catch fire is the dead brush and the dead grass and stuff at the base of it. So the fire rushes through and it burns up really quickly and it's gone. And that's the way the natural evolution is. And so then we start putting out the fires, and then all this dead brush accumulates up, and then the fire is 10 times worse, and then it actually is able to catch these bigger trees, and then the bigger trees, they get so hot they actually explode. And that's what creates the wilderness fires. Otherwise the fire would go out pretty quick on its own normally. And